Okay guys, so today we are going to be editing a photo on Lightroom. I'm just going to kind of walk through how I do it, just so you can get an idea. So one of the first things I want to do is try to balance out the exposure on the photo by raising the shadows. So kind of like brightening up the car. And I know right now it might look like it's kind of too exposed and it looks unnatural. And the way you offset this is by lowering the dark colors, or by lowering the blacks. And what you can do is you can push Alt and then click, so that way you can see which parts of the photo are black. And usually I try to get the grill black and parts of the brake or parts of the rim to be all the way black. And then you can kind of do a similar thing with the highlights. You can bring down the highlights in general, but then bring up the extreme lights, so that way I usually try to go just before there's any light, again by pushing down the Alt key and then clicking. So already you can see that this photo is popping out a lot more than the original. So then what we can do is we can add some clarity into the photo. And clarity, it's easy to go overboard, but usually I try to keep it around 50. Now from here we already have a pretty solid photo. Now you can either choose to mess with the tone curve or not. I think with this photo I'm going to do a little bit with the tone curve, just kind of taking out the low end a little bit. And then from there you can either choose to do different things with the colors. For example, if I really wanted to make the red pop, I could bring up the saturation, but I think it looks good as it is right now. So then if you go down to sharpening, here's another valuable tool. And I think this photo is already pretty sharp, but if I wanted to add some sharpness to the detail, what I could do is I could bring this up, and then again using the Alt click I could push the masking to see which parts of the photo are actually being sharpened, so I can make it so that way just the specific details are being sharpened and not just the blank space in the sky. So that's kind of a neat feature with Lightroom. And lastly, you can add a vignette if you want to with Lightroom, kind of like choosing the midpoint and the shape of the vignette and then the feather. I usually try to have the vignette be really feathered. And yeah, compared to our original photo, that is looking really solid. So that's just a brief run through of what I do in Adobe Lightroom.